In today's topic, we're going to talk about aligning your habits with the outcome that you want. Nothing in life just work out on its own. You have to align your habits with the outcome that you want, and that's how you end up achieving the things that you want. You cannot say you want a six six pack, but then you don't go to the gym, you don't work out every day. Those things don't go together. You have to align them. You have to know the goals that you want to commit to. If you want to make money online, you have to commit to that. Your daily habits have to align with that. The things that you do every day, you have to pick a niche that you want to make money in, and then start learning the skill in that niche every day. And then as time goes on, you get better at that thing, and then eventually you figure things out, things start to work out, and then you start to see things getting better and better, and eventually you start to make money. The same thing with the when you make money in the crypto market, you're not just gonna make things are just not gonna happen for you. You have to put in some effort. You have to learn the skill. You have to learn everything that comes with it, everything that you need to know before you can even get good at it. The goal is to get good first before you can get to the point where you make the kind of money you want to make. If you're not even good at what you want to do first, then the first step is to focus on getting good first. Once you get good at it, then now you know everything there is to know. It becomes more like effortless. On the outside, people might say it's easy, but on the inside, you have put in the days, in the months, in the weeks, and hours trying to get better at whatever it is that you are doing. The same thing with anything in life. If your habits are not in alignment with the outcome that you want, then you will just go around in circles. And years will go by. You'll just keep on wasting time going around in circles because that's the only thing that is missing in your life. Your habits are not in alignment. And the thing about habits is that doing the same thing every day sucks. It's boring. Nobody wants to do that. Nobody wants to wake up in the morning and sit on your computer for hours learning a skill, or wake up in the morning and get down on the floor and do 100 push-ups. Those things sucks. It takes a different level of mental toughness and discipline to be able to do those things. But the thing is that as you start focusing on those habits, the outcomes eventually take care of themselves. You don't get the outcome and then focus on habits after. You focus on habits first, and you'll go through a period where you're not seeing the kind of results that you want to see, but you still have to continue with those habits. Keep on putting in the inputs every day, and then eventually you're going to look back a year from now and you will see an improvement, and then you just keep on going, and then your results eventually start to compound. Things start to get better, start to see the results you've been working towards for the last couple of years. That's how it is, guys. We cannot have a goal without the habits. You have to have both. You have to know the habits that you're going to take every day, and then take them and never miss. Those are the habits that you have to maintain, like regardless of how you feel, whether you are sick, whether you are bored, whether you don't want to do it, you still have to show up, do whatever you need to do, and you get better at what you do. This is the same thing with me. When I learned how to trade in the cryptocurrency, I didn't start in there. I started in the forex markets first, and then I realized, this one is not for me. I went to stocks, that's when I kind of learned about investing. And then eventually I got into the crypto markets. There are some people live now when they see me, they think I trade forex, but I don't trade forex. That's where I started. That's where everything started with me years ago. And then I just kept on learning, taking everything. Right now I do know some basics in the forex world, but I'm not a forex trader. You know, some people tend to confuse that a lot. I'm not a forex trader. I trade cryptocurrencies only. That's all I do. So that's what I'm trying to tell you guys, that if you want to get good at anything, in the beginning you're going to suck, but if you stick with those habits, eventually things will evolve and you will get better. And as you get better, you figure out what works and what doesn't work. At least for you, you know what works for you and what doesn't work for you. And then you go all in on what works, you remove what doesn't work, and then you put more time in what works. And then whatever that works, that's where most of your results are going to come from. 80% of your results are going to come from 20% of what you do. It's not that, like, you don't have to do too many things. You just have to do just one thing, get good at it, and then that's where most of your results are going to come from. But that's what I wanted to talk about in this video. Aligning your habits with the outcome that you want. Only you know that the outcome that you want, and you know the habits that you have to take. And the thing about the habits is that you might know that if you want to get good at something, you have to study all that stuff. But the thing about studying is that you're still figuring things out, and it's during that studying period where you are trying to figure things out, where you are doing different stuff, trying to figure out what works, what doesn't work, what works best for you, what do you like based on whatever that you're figuring out. And then you put that information together, and then eventually you come out with your own plan to get the results that you want. And then once you eventually get to that point, that's when you start to see the results that you want. So things never just happen immediately like that. It usually takes like a couple of years before you start seeing a little bit of results. And then from that point where you see a little bit of results to all the years beyond that point, that's when things start to go like this. But in the beginning, things just go like this. And you might even go down first before you even recover like that. So I went through that period where I first started here, I went down here like that for years, just going downhill like that. And then eventually during that period, I figured out what works for me. And then I went all in on what works for you, what works for me. And then I went through a little period of plateau before things started to skyrocket. And things have been good for me ever since. But I know I can still get better. I know there's still a lot more to learn to achieve the outcomes that I want. But I just made this video to tell you guys that anything that you want to do, you can do it. You just have to put in the hours, put in the years. It's not going to happen overnight. There's still a lot that you have to learn, a lot of information that you have to learn, and a lot of information that you have to unlearn. Remove it from your brain, from your beliefs. Once you remove all that information and put new information in your brain, and you know what works, then you go all in on that information. And that process of learning and unlearning, it takes time. It doesn't happen overnight. Whether you have a mentor, but actually a mentor does make things a little bit fast. I also had a mentor who showed me different ways to make money. So Like I said, you need to have a mentor, guys. You cannot do this thing alone. Doing this thing alone is going to take you actually longer than you wanted, because you don't know what works and you don't know what doesn't work. But when you have a mentor, that's someone who went through that period already, and they're going to tell you, "Yo, this is what I found, this is what works best. Anyone can do this one, whether you have a low IQ or high IQ, whatever. If you do this thing like this, it's going to work."